It's Luke and Naomi.
Welcome to Luke and Naomi, episode 60-1.
Keep climbing.
And more and more every time, and we're surprised every time. Hey, we did another one.
Look, we're back.
All right.
I didn't think we'd make it. Is that how we're going to be when we reach those ages? Are we going to be like, oh my God, I'm 62. Look at that.
Well,
Didn't see that coming.
Now I'm terrified, and
Oh,
that'll
my
always
bad.
be
I'm sorry.
something I'm scared of as I
I feel like you'll be celebrating that each year. You'll be like,
made it.
made it. Yeah, exactly. Just like we do for every episode,
Well,
except for it's not life or death.
Let's make that the plan. I like that better than being terrified.
There you go.
All right, well, that's a fantastic way to begin.
That's right. Why not?
Happy episode 61. We got a great one with Black Sheep. This one snuck up on us.
Came out of the blue.
Came out of the blue. We were talking about, how, Naomi's pretty much got 90s movies covered. And somebody mentioned Black Sheep. And Naomi was like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, I had no idea.
No idea.
Which, by the way, I mentioned to some coworkers that know that we do the podcast
Yeah.
and everything. And I had just mentioned that it came up actually at Fermental, and we were talking about it and realized,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're going to watch that movie. And the look that I got, because I had not heard of Black Sheep before, I was like, I'm sorry. I never heard of it before.
I mean,
What do you mean you never heard of it,
That
let
is-
alone see it?
it's how the hell does that slip through? I mean,
I don't
you know Tommy Boy, you know all the
Yeah.
Sandler movies. It's really, really funny that one slipped through the crack. You got the same reaction when you told us we were at Fermental. We were shooting the latest Sips and Snacks, and we were talking with Ashley, and Lisa was there too, and one of the two of them, I can't remember which one, brought it up, and it was like, no way.
Yeah.
So Black Sheep.
Yeah, that's exactly how that went down. We went and shot a video for Sips and Snacks, one that's going to be coming up in just a little bit. And we were just talking as we were finishing up our drinks and everything, talking about movies and what movie we're going to watch this week and all of that. And that came up, and it was like, okay, well, we're going to watch that tonight now.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what happened.
Boom.
Yeah.
Done. So that was that was how we ended up with Black. And we say that at the end of every episode, or all through every episode. We don't know how it's gonna happen, but we'll figure out what the next movie is.
That's right.
So in perfect Under a Rock fashion, Black Sheep this episode coming up in just a little bit.
That's right.
You mentioned Sips and Snacks. If you are just a Facebook Luke and Naomi on air follower, you missed possibly the latest episode, because that went up recently. And if you're
It's
a subscriber,
on YouTube. Yeah.
you would get that there. So we just wanted to test and see if anybody was going to holler about it. And, one or two. We got one or two.
Of course
asking
we did.
where it was, but,
yeah. It's there. It's on YouTube, though.
My cheesy, horrible way of saying, hey, get over to YouTube and subscribe so that we can get them subscribers up.
Yeah.
Because that'd be super cool.
It'd be awesome.
But what is the one we just posted? White cheddar popcorn, right?
That's right.
It-
Really
it's-
interesting, and we had some fun shooting that video.
Yes.
It's different.
Yes, check that one out. And
Yeah.
like Naomi mentioned, we got another one in the can, so you'll be getting that in
Shortly.
a week or two. Naomi's got the schedule with all
Listen,
that stuff.
we had a schedule, and then once in a while we forget a little bit, but it's cool. Those videos are coming, and they are available.
That's right.
And
Yes.
don't worry.
That's another reason, subscribe for
Yeah.
that reason. Because then when it is up there, you get, boom.
That's
There you
right.
go.
Because I don't know when I'm going to actually post the video, I try.
I know.
I really do.
Our good friend Paul was telling us on Facebook, or on the YouTube, actually. He's a subscriber on the YouTube, so he got the video. He saw it, and he
Yeah.
said it looks like what we described the combination as is fizzy. Mm-hmm. Fizzy wine.
Yes.
That Ashley chose the wine that the popcorn makes fizzy.
Yes.
If I'm making any sense. I feel like all those words were just completely out of order.
Okay.
But the wine and the popcorn combination becomes fizzy.
Yes.
So Paul says he's really looking forward to that, and if he can find the beer too. So
I think he'll be able to find it.
and by the way, Paul, I did not cut my hair. He said it looked like,
Oh.
and was hoping not. So thank you for watching on the YouTube, and you can comment stuff there and all of that stuff. Sips and Snacks. Make sure you're subscribed to just Luke, and you don't have to do it the once, and you get all
That's
the
right.
stuff.
You
And then
get
we
all
can
the goodies. Yeah.
the podcast videos as well. And yeah, man, we've got some good stuff lined up for that. I'm really looking forward to see. And we got that new little wrinkle we're getting ready to spring on Ashley too, where we're gonna show up with something, surprise them, and give them like 5 minutes to make
go
a pairing.
figure it out. Yeah, that one's gonna be awesome. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that should be super cool. No skee-ball this week because just life happens and whatever. We had some stuff come up, so no skee-ball this week. We'll report on our 11-2 makeup games as we make them up.
That's right.
We're gonna end up playing so much skee-ball one night or 1 week or
I'm
something
okay
like
with
that.
that because hopefully that will be a week where like I'm on and I'm doing okay. More likely though, I know my luck, and it'll be a week when I'm off, and I'll do terrible, and I'll be sad about it.
Either way, you are absolutely hooked, are you not?
I am, absolutely. I knew this was gonna happen too. The day we went there, and we're
The first time.
yeah, we're just watching, we're just checking out what everyone is doing, and a fellow skee-ball leaguer came up to us and was just like, hey, are you guys signed up? Do you want to play? And we're like, nah, we'll wait it out. And she's like, nah, go ahead. I'll take my name off the list. I already played. You guys go ahead. So we did.
Super cool.
And we played. And we had a lot of fun.
So much
And then
fun.
we drove home. And all we talked about was skee-ball the entire ride home. And then it was like, so are we joining the league? Yeah, we're joining the league.
It was instant. We were both, let's get that straight. I am hooked as well, but Naomi just, boom, super hooked. This weekend involved skee-ball because we had to get some practice in over the weekend and
That's right.
all of that stuff. So Wilmington Brewskee-Ball is where you can check them out on the Facebook page. Super cool. If you're in the area, you got to come out, check it out, and get in on the next league.
I was going to say, watch a night, see how much fun everybody's having, and then you're going to be like, hey, when's the next season? Because I want to do this.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
The funness is contagious.
Yes. Shout out to us, the periodic table of Elskemans.
Nice job.
Heck yes. That's for the chemistry that Ashley comes up with the
pairings.
The pairings
Yes.
over to Fermental there. So looking forward to getting back to skee-ball next week. And, of course, the forthcoming report after that. Cowboys back on track. I just wanted to shout that out. I haven't been doing the Cowboys Victory Mondays, so I missed a couple of those. And then not happily, but didn't have to report on the one last week because I haven't been doing it.
That's right.
So either way, they're looking okay. That defense is solid. We'll see how everything shakes out this year. I'm just not as over the top this year, I believe. So
I just hate football like I do every year.
Naomi's just getting her butt whooped in our
Listen here, mister. I'm not the one getting my butt whooped.
I really am.
It's you.
I'm so bad.
But
I'm so bad this year.
Last week was a really hard week for me. I dropped like 15 places, so I am just devastated. I hate football. It's so stupid. All the teams suck. I hate them all.
We pick 10 games every week. And the slate this week, week 4, if you're listening in the future,
was the worst
was
one
just
ever.
So crazy.
Every team sucked. I hate them all.
It was terrible. It'll go down in the history as the week the Bears and Broncos played each other to a horrible, horrible point fest.
Yeah.
Like, it was just so weird. But it'll be that week. You listen to this podcast years and years in the future, be like, oh, I remember that week. That was crazy.
Hey, remember that week that everything sucked? It was that one.
But yeah, I am. I'm doing pretty bad this year. I'm really bad this year.
You were talking so much crap about me, and you're in like last place.
And you know who's off the hook?
You're not. You're like 3 away from last place.
You know who's off the hook right now? If well, maybe not. If I can pull it up fast enough, is Brando. We got Brando in.
Oh, is he playing? Where
year.
is he at? Let's pull this up. Where is Brando at? Go find him.
Here. Can I get this fast enough? All right.
It's fine. We can cut and edit here because
talk amongst yourselves. Oh, there he is.
Brando?
He is sitting above both of us.
Of course he is.
Isn't he? Yeah, he's tied at 18 right now out of 54. Yeah. And I am considerably lower. Naomi's higher than me.
That's right.
That's where we're going to leave that one.
Yeah. Let's not go into the rest
shout
of
out
the
to
numbers.
Brando. Well done on your first year. See how you finish. Hopefully you can get yourself a week and get your money back and all that stuff.
Listen, it's been 4 weeks. There's a lot of football left.
A lot of football left. That's exactly.
I can climb my way back up.
The rallying cry of the loser, right
That's
there.
right.
A lot of football left.
Yep.
A lot of football.
How often do I say that? Like every single week.
Well, it doesn't matter because if it's fantasy football, if it's our Grantsco football pool, if it's anything, like it's just a lot of football left that comes up, and it's just yeesh, holding on for dear life.
Yeah,
if
basically.
It's Dallas against Arizona, a lot of football left. I said that like 8 times. Oh,
That was
man.
painful, but let's not talk about that.
Yeah, please no.
No.
Please no. So
Moving
yeah.
on.
So that's how the NFL season's going. And I found a poll. Remember how much we like to do the polls and
Always.
stuff like that.
Studies, statistics.
And then there's something else that I
polls.
like to do occasionally on the show and see if I can get Naomi all fired up.
What are we talking about here?
That was absolutely the look. So, an annual report called the Drive-Thru Study just came out.
Oh my goodness. I know where this is going.
It compares the speed and accuracy at 10 of the...
Accuracy. Accuracy. I know which one's in last place. Do we want to talk about that
we
one?
didn't even
Do we want to
start.
start there? I bet you on this list they're not in last place, and they deserve to be. It's fine, though. Keep
Oh,
going. I'm sorry.
We haven't even begun.
If
Oh,
they are
here we
in
go.
first place, I'm going to, punch somebody. It's going to get violent in here.
This did not disappoint. All right, we didn't even begin. It compares the speed
I don't
and
think I want to
accuracy
hear this.
at 10 of the biggest fast food chains in America by doing secret shoppers.
Okay.
150 locations for each chain.
Okay.
So it seems like
Legit.
a pretty big sample size
Yeah.
anyway. And a pretty legit study, too. You're not going to like this. All right, so who's the... well, there are parts that you will like. I forgot about the one part you will like. Who's the fastest? Okay, if you're in a rush and looking for the fastest drive-thru experience possible, Taco Bell took the top spot.
Okay. I did not think Taco Bell was actually going to take the top spot. I thought they'd take the top spot for accuracy.
Okay.
Because I don't remember the last time I've gone to Taco Bell and had my order messed up. It's been a long time. They always get our order right, and we order the most ridiculous stuff.
We do.
And lots of it.
Well, technically,
So-
we only order 4 things. We just ordered 9 of each of those 4 things.
Yeah, but we order different combinations, like a chicken burrito and a steak burrito.
I do like chicken.
You know?
I like the chicken chalupa, right? But I take the sour cream off and I get nacho cheese instead, and that is just, oh yeah. And I mean, okay, but still, our Taco Bell has been pretty spot on with that.
But not just them. The one we had in New Mexico was spot on
they were
as well.
great, too.
Yeah,
That's
we
right.
never had
Yeah.
an issue with them. I figured accuracy over everything for
Shout
Taco
out to
Bell.
Roswell Taco Bell.
Oh yeah, they never disappointed, and they had a palm tree in their parking lot, which was just ridiculous. But I don't care; it was pretty cool. I would guess that Taco Bell would be a little bit slower than some of the other chains, though. Believe it or not.
So I'd like to know what cities too, because of course, they're not doing sleepy little towns where it's high school kids, dicking around behind the counter and stuff. The fastest overall drive-thrus from the report: Taco Bell, KFC,
Okay.
Carl's Jr.,
Okay.
and the slowest. Any guesses?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
No,
Chick-fil-A was the slowest.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
As
Chick-fil-A
soon
the
as I
slowest.
said that, I was like, nah, I want to take that back. But okay.
But okay, so according to this report, the Chick-fil-A is also the most accurate. So they're slow, but they're giving you the correct amounts of chicken.
Which I feel like is very important because I don't care if I've got to wait in that drive-through line a little bit longer as long as I get what I ordered. Because there's nothing more aggravating
Yeah.
than when you pull away and you go,
Oh yeah.
this isn't all of our stuff.
Especially when it's like one small thing, but it's always like, damn it, that's, I wanted that. Like the sauce, of course. We've all had that experience. But like, the one, I'm ordering an extra fry because I know we're both going to eat the fries. And it's one of those situations where, Naomi's like, I'm not going to eat a lot of fries. And it's like, well, here's some extra just in case.
Yeah.
All that. But then like that's,
You mentioned the sauce. I have gotten to the point when we go through the drive-through that I just don't expect to get any sauce that I want. Like, I have come to terms with that. If we go somewhere and I go, yeah, can I get a ranch and a barbecue? I expect not to get anything. So when they actually remember, it's exciting.
it's like getting a toy all over again.
Yeah, it really is because you just can't count on that.
All right. So you ready for the number 2 and number 3 most accurate overall? Number 2,
Well, I know one of them is going to be McDonald's and it's crap.
number 2, Burger King,
Are you serious?
and number 3, McDonald's.
That is such a lie. That is such a lie.
So I
I
actually,
hate McDonald's. They can't even get one thing correct. No, I am going to go on this rant just for 30 seconds. I promise I'll keep it as short as
I'm
I
not going
can.
to start a timer or anything.
Listen, I used to go to McDonald's all the time. And 10 out of 10 times, they would mess up my order. And the final straw was when I ordered one thing and they messed it up. It was one item.
The odds are probably pretty high, honestly. But listen.
Don't
this isn't
tell me
like,
that they usually get it right. No, absolutely
this
not.
story isn't even years ago. This was since we've been together, so within the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And I watched this stuff happen.
Yeah.
I've had it happen where they would get my order correct and screw up Naomi's.
Always.
And
Always.
Yeah, that's so. I mean, I saw it happen.
Yeah.
You know how many times I had to go back to that UFO McDonald's that one day? Oh.
Many.
No shout out to the Roswell McDonald's.
The Taco Bell gets all the Taco Bell gets all the credit.
Oh,
yeah.
their Wendy's was okay too.
Yeah. No, I just, I'm sorry. I just cannot with McDonald's. And I know some people just swear by them and love them and no.
False.
10 out of 10 times they messed up my order. And again, the final straw was one item and it was messed up.
I mean,
it wasn't even complicated. It's not like I order like a McChicken cooked partly with 10 pickles and cheese on it.
You didn't hold the pickles, hold the lettuce?
No, it was standard orders. The only thing I would ever change, and it's been a long time since I would get McDonald's, but if I got like a McDouble or anything like that, I would get it without onions. Now, they would always put onions on there because they couldn't, not mess up the order, but that's the only difference I would make. 9 times out of 10, it was just ordering what the item was. A McChicken.
Can I have a burger, please? No.
All of a sudden, I'm getting one without a bun. Listen, I wanted the bun. Like, come on.
Can I get a 10-piece? Yeah, here's your burger.
Yep. It's basically how that went down.
Oh man, that's just terrible. So yeah, the most accurate overall: Chick-fil-A, Burger King, McDonald's. For accuracy, they looked
such a lie.
They looked at stuff like the top things fast food places mess up. Putting ice in your drink when you said no ice was one of the number one things that people were complain about for some reason.
Okay.
Then adding the wrong ingredients to an entree, of course, like getting pickles when you said no pickles. And
Wait. So is this? I feel like this study is telling me that I should.
Maybe they were at like Canadian McDonald's where they're nice.
I feel like I should have been asking for things to be different, and then I would have gotten the correct thing. If I would have asked for, extra pickles on a McDouble, then maybe I actually would get a McDouble. I might not get the extra pickles, but, I'll get at least part of the order.
Can I have a McChicken, add a beef patty, extra pickles, and a slice of bacon, and then they give you a Big Mac?
That's right.
Let's see here. What else we got? There's just a couple more things.
I hate this study. Why did you bring this up?
For this exact reaction. They looked at the top ways.
I do want Taco Bell right now, though.
You always want Taco Bell, though, so that you're like the Incredible Hulk. I'm always angry. You just always want Taco Bell, so I can just pull that plug whenever I want to. I'm just like, hey, ready? She's like, for what? I'm like, to go to Taco Bell. She's like, yes, I am. Yes,
sure, we'll make this work.
I'm on board here.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, finish your
the
stupid
top ways
study.
that people that they upsell us in the drive-thru, the most common by far, of course, if you want to make it a combo, then asking if you want to upsize and asking if you want to upsize your drink. They don't ask me that anymore. They'll give me the small drink, and it's like, no, I want so much Pepsi. That's the only time I drink Pepsi. It's like the once maybe a month that we do fast food, if that.
I feel like no places like try to upsize you anymore.
Yeah, Did they have to stop that or something like that?
Is this an old study?
Maybe it is.
I bet you this is an old study.
I'm gonna have to click through, but I mean, it's an annual report.
They couldn't say super size anymore because that whole thing.
It is an annual report, and it's just they asked people, so people probably still think it's a thing, even if it's not. I don't know.
People probably lied. That's what happened. They asked people. They lied.
The study asked what the top thing that could make drive-thrus even faster would be. Top answer? Making sure the person working speaks clearly and listens.
Huh.
So, the job
would make it faster. Okay. All right.
Thanks for showing up. You're going to get paid. Now, just the other part is you have to do this.
Yeah.
Not just show up.
Listen, I think part of
fantastic.
Part of the problem, though, is also on the customers. Because how many people pull up to a drive-thru, don't know what they want, don't know how to pronounce what they want, can't find what they want on the menu, and you just go, give me don't you guys have that burrito that's got
Oh, my goodness.
some rice in it, maybe some meat? What's that one? Yeah, give me that one. What do you want in the back seat? No, I don't think they have that anymore. Do you want a medium or a large? I think we're getting a large. Oh, wait, no, you said medium. No, change it
That
to
is
a medium.
exactly how that goes.
Yeah, so again, I don't think we can fault a lot of the workers. I think a lot of it falls on the customers.
A little bit. So listen, if you can hear my voice right now, if you're not ordering through the app when you're going to any fast food place, you are absolutely doing it wrong.
That's so handy.
I know it's stupid. Oh, an app for everything. So what? Just get it and get your order in, pull up, say your name, they prep it. You don't have
It's
to
all
order
there.
everything. You make all your choices there. Then if they screw it up, it's like, look, it's written down right here.
You couldn't read it. That's on you now.
I mean, we get behind college kids. Wilmington's a college town. We get behind college kids and see them ordering like you just did. But it's like 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
And they're even dumber.
Yep.
Sorry, kids, if you're, all the 18-year-olds that are listening to Luke and Naomi.
No, we're out
I
of touch.
so apologize,
Yeah.
Anyway, so that worked perfectly. I'm so happy with the outcome of just reading
Bringing that up.
stupid thing. That was fantastic.
I'm just pissed.
Well done. We haven't gotten you fired up in a
Pissed
minute
and
or two.
hungry.
Just in case we got a couple of new folks in. That's a lot of fun. Getting Naomi all fired up on about fast food and
Fast
McDonald's
food
and drive-through and all of that.
And AI. It's the two things that just set me off faster than anything else.
Well, here's one that I like talking about a little bit here. And my random facts for the week, your weekly
right.
dose of Did You Know, but the first Did You Know on the list. Did you know Uranus smells like rotten eggs?
I can't with you.
I almost got the whole thing out.
Almost.
That's so close.
Oh my goodness.
I thought about saving that for last, but it was just too perfect.
There was no way you'd make it through. You would just be laughing at all the other random facts because you'd be thinking about this
I'm like
one.
relieved. The clouds in the upper atmosphere apparently really are composed of hydrogen sulfide, and that's what, makes rotten eggs and other stuff so stinky.
Yeah, I mean, sulfate, right, is stinky.
Yeah,
So
there you go. Did you? I was going to read it again, but it's not radio. It's not like somebody just jumped in.
no,
You heard it.
Yeah, you heard it.
Did you know Arnold Schwarzenegger was a millionaire before he became an actor?
Yeah, all that is bodybuilding stuff, right?
Well, he took the money from bodybuilding competitions and invested in real estate.
There you go.
I did not know that.
No, but I figured,
When I heard it, when I read it, I did the same thing that you did. Yeah, bodybuilding, right? Well, sort of, but yeah, pretty much. Did you know the Girl Scouts are the second largest cookie company in America, with around $800 million a year in revenue?
Who's number one?
Oreo.
Okay.
Well deserved.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well done, Oreo.
And now Oreo's got 8 million different flavors to pick from, so,
Well, I'll tell you what, if you want to know the best beer and wine to pair the actual, OG Oreo, well, the double stuff Oreo, but
that's the OG.
it's the OG.
Yeah,
Luke and Naomi on air, Sips and Snacks on YouTube.
that's right.
Check it out.
You'll find those answers.
Oh, that was so much fun. That video was, that was so much fun to make.
I now want to talk about and Oreos.
Those beer, that beer and wine was so tasty with the Oreos. Did you know every sea in Pacific Ocean is pronounced differently?
Yeah, that's a meme that goes around a
Is it?
lot.
Okay.
Yeah. I
It's
see
just
it way
fascinating.
too much.
There's three seas in ocean, Pacific Ocean. I'll be okay. Did you know the board game Candyland was invented in a polio ward during an epidemic in the 40s to give quarantined kids a distraction?
That's weird.
It is weird, but it's
A
kind
little
of sweet.
unsettling.
It's kind of sweet, you don't think, here,
Yeah.
let's invent it's a bummer. The kid, they didn't have the cures and stuff like that or whatever, and here, something to do, and now everybody plays it. It's not a Ouija board. I don't know why you look so creeped out.
It just, I don't know. It's just weird.
Okay.
That's cool. It's fine.
All right. Well, that is your weekly dose of Did You Know? Some random facts to apparently weird Naomi right out.
That's right. Doesn't
like
take
it.
much.
Fantastic. All right. All right. Last week, we talked about fake restaurants
That's right.
because we can't not talk about food. So what restaurant or bar from, TV, movies, fiction, basically, would you want to be real? Would you want to visit? Would you want to hang out at?
So I had mentioned last time Bob's Burgers and then realized as I was saying it, no way. Because, again, we just got done talking about not getting your order correct and all of that. Those kids, Jean and Tina and Louise, would just F up that order so bad. I would be so mad. And then they're just, like, obnoxious while there's, like, customers in the restaurant and stuff. Like, I would just, no.
Still, if
Absolutely not.
I would want to, like, be at Bob's Burgers for, like, the beginning of the episode because you see, like, a satisfied customer will walk out. Then the kids come in and all hell breaks loose.
So I'd have to go during school hours. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I could do that.
Absolutely. So, I mean, there's all the places in Springfield that I'd love. Krusty Burger, of course. I think that's the one that we put in the thing. Yeah, Krusty Burger. Moe's Tavern, of course. That'd be so much fun to hang out at. And
that dive bar.
Just
a rat run by your feet while you're drinking a beer.
I'm not talking about Moe's at Boardwalk at the beach. I'm talking about, like, real Moe's Tavern, a place that you probably wouldn't want to be for more than 5 minutes.
Right.
So we got Mrs. Epler in on this one here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All
Brando's
right.
wife.
What's she got?
She says Luke's Diner from Gilmore Girls.
Okay.
She says, I really want that coffee they hype up through the entire show. Okay,
Must
I was
be
never.
Some
I don't
good
know.
coffee.
I don't know me any Gilmore Girls, but I can dig like how they do that because they do that with like Duff Beer in The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure would just be like Budweiser, which I don't like. So there's that. But that's a great answer to start us off. Luke's Diner. Another reason I wanted to start off there.
Yeah,
Todd says the Island Diner from Seinfeld. He says they were eating there all the time. It must have been good and cheap. And, of course, in the 90s, it probably was.
Yeah.
Juan says one of Ichiraku's, I don't know if I'm saying that right, ramen dishes to energize me after a long day's work. That looks like anime. I don't do the anime. Just never got into it.
But it said ramen, so I'm definitely down for some ramen.
Some ramen would be cool. And then Juan also showed a scene of the kids in Goof Troop eating pizza. And he says this pizza right here has a comfort food.
I'm watching the little GIF.
Oh, the cheese.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that's fantastic.
Cheesy and delicious.
Let's see here. And Ralph says, who wouldn't want to eat Krusty Krab?
That's right.
He says, or get soup from the Soup Nazi. I like that everybody goes Seinfeld. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Listen, I am not going that. There is no way I'm getting soup from the Soup Nazi. Like, I am not going to be, they all, file in and have to keep their head down or whatever. And no, get out of here. I want that soup. Give me 2 scoops. This is a restaurant and I'm paying you money.
So I married Elaine, is what you're saying.
No. Absolutely not.
You can dance much better.
Yeah, that's right.
Ralph says also McDowell's from Coming to America. That's a great one. I got Brando here. He says Mos Eisley Cantina from Star Wars.
Of course it was from Star Wars.
Of course it was from Star Wars. And he goes, however, if you guys are sick of all my Star Wars answers, a parody answer would be Gus's Galaxy Grill from Spaceballs, which is, the parody of Star Wars.
Perfect.
Of course. Nicely done, Brando. Also, he wants to go to the Clerk's gas station, but only to hang out outside with Jay and Silent Bob.
Of course.
Which is just awesome. Fantastic answers. Mine, of course, I would go right straight to The Simpsons and then, the cartoon stuff. The Officers Club in MASH is what I said last week. I've been kind of watching MASH for a little bit. And the Seinfeld answers are great. I'm trying to think of all the places that they eat food on TV. The only other real thing that I came up with was Jack Rabbit Slims from Pulp Fiction.
Okay. Yeah.
That is, or was anyway, a real place. I don't know if that's still a real place out in LA, but you could go there at one point and it's just like that.
Interesting.
Like the living wax museum with the cars and all of that junk. So absolutely still on my list if we ever make it out to LA, and it still exists by the time we get out there.
Get a lot of things waiting on that if.
That's right.
If it still exists. If we get to LA.
If we decide to take a trip to LA for any particular reason.
To go there.
Just to go to Jack Rabbit Slims. That would be fantastic.
And then show up and it's closed.
Yeah.
That would be our luck.
Yeah, that would be our luck. Perfectly. That would be fantastic. Let's see. Oh, how about Mulligan Steakhouse from Parks and Rec?
It got shut down for like a health code violation, wasn't it?
Yeah, but Ron Swanson loves it.
That's great, but I don't want to get sick. So
Okay.
I would rather go to like JJ's Diner from Parks and Rec, get some good breakfast.
JJ's Diner's a great one.
Yeah, get some breakfast, get a waffle with a whole bunch of whipped cream on top of it. Sure.
Those ginormous waffles.
Yeah.
They look fantastic.
I'd be okay with that.
All right. All right. Good answers. Good answers. Liked that one. This one is another great argument. Do you remember a couple Halloweens ago, we were in New Mexico and we had everybody fighting over the best of the mini candies?
Yeah.
It was like the mini M&M's pack and all of that stuff like that. Well, we got something similar to that, but with more foods that, well, I don't know. I would say some could fit in, even in to our Sips and Snacks videos. But
Possibly.
some are more meals, some are desserts. They're just our favorites.
This is a visual one, by the way.
This is a visual one.
Yeah. So you'll have to go to our Facebook page and check it out. Like, you gotta.
You'll have to.
You have to.
Check out Luke and Naomi on air on Facebook. Click the, I don't know, what is it? Like, follow.
Both.
Find
I
all
think
of
you
that.
can do both, so
if you
do
do
that.
one, it counts as the other. Also, this will be on YouTube. If you want to check us out there, you'll be able to see it in the video on YouTube.
Okay.
So you got to eliminate 3. There's 9 of them, so I'm going to read them. Ready? Pizza, ice cream, French fries, cookies, burgers, cake, chips, just plain chocolate, like all chocolate, I'm assuming, and nuggets.
3 of them gotta go.
3 of them got to go. That is tough.
It is really tough. I know the burger's staying no matter what. There is no way in hell that burgers would be off that list. Even if, like, you have to get rid of 7 things.
Your first
burgers
restaurant
are staying.
that you went to with the fictional restaurants was Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
So, I'm not surprised
Burgers
there.
is staying,
Burgers
for
is
sure.
staying.
I'd like to keep chicken nuggets on there, but I haven't had chicken nuggets in so long. I get random cravings for chicken nuggets, but I don't act on those cravings. It's been years.
Well, what chicken nuggets? Like, are we talking McDonald's? Because we just went over that.
No, I don't need. I'll take frozen nuggets.
Yeah.
It just there's something about that just squished up chicken.
Yeah, and why go for
'Cause it's
chicken
not-
nuggets? You're an adult now. You could just have boneless chicken wings. It's the same thing. Even
yeah,
better.
well, I would take that. Sure. I
So
do
you're getting
miss
rid of-
chicken nuggets sometimes, though.
You're going to get rid of the nuggets?
I don't know yet. I don't know yet.
Pizza, ice cream, fries, cookies, burgers, cake, chips, chocolate, nuggets. So I can get rid of chips because I'm going to keep fries.
That's a good point.
That's kind of, well, there are different times and all that stuff, but just overall, if I had to, I'm getting older. I'm probably going to have to eventually anyway. So
You're going to have to eventually give up the burgers and fries,
gonna
too,
give
if
up
you're being
every one of
honest here.
let me see. Well, I don't even know.
This is tough. We
Yeah,
need
it really
we need
is.
some time to think about this.
So
we need like a week
Get
to think
yourself
about
over
this.
Luke and Naomi on air on Facebook. By the time you hear this, it should be up there.
Should.
And let us know what 3 have to go forever. Pizza, ice cream, fries, cookies, burgers, cake, chips, chocolate, and chicken nuggets.
The cookies have to stay. They have to.
Well, I've said that with almost everything. I think the consensus is nuggets because I'll just have like a piece of fried chicken instead at this point.
yeah.
Chicken
Yeah,
sandwich or
maybe.
something like that. I don't need nuggets anymore. I can get rid of that. I don't want to eliminate chocolate completely.
That'd be sad.
But, like we like to do, we're compromising. I get rid of chocolate and go with cookies. If that meant I could have Oreos. Okay.
You'll have to argue your case next week.
All right. I will do my best to do that next week. Check it out, Luke and Naomi on air on Facebook. Let us know your answer. What 3 are you getting rid of forever? Not repeating them again because you got to go check it out.
That's right.
And that, I believe, takes care of that.
It does.
Now it is time. Here we go. Let's just get that out of the way.
Perfect.
Again, I really am flabbergasted that you had never seen Black Sheep.
Yeah.
The 80s movies, okay. But some of the 90s movies that you haven't seen, it's a complete shock.
The worst part about this, too, is just that not only had I never seen it, I had never even heard of it.
Never even heard of it.
Had no idea anything about this movie whatsoever.
So, speaking of that, I generally will not say much about a movie, but because she was like, I have never heard of it. And I was like, okay, maybe she'd seen it and like the plot would kind of. So I sort of like laid it out kind of vaguely.
Yeah.
And she's just like, nope, nothing.
I had no idea what he was talking about at all.
So it's fantastic. Tommy Boy number 2, Black Sheep.
Yeah, that's basically what this movie was.
All right, we'll take it away.
All right, so my notes start in here kind of like how we were talking earlier. Black Sheep, this came up at a stop at Fermental and a talk with Ashley where Luke and him and Lisa were all geeking out about 90s Adam Sandler movies and other comedies and all that. And when they mentioned Black Sheep, I had said I had never heard of it. So instead of adding it to the list, we just decided that day that, hey, we're going to watch this tonight.
Let's do it.
All right. So we have Donnelly running for governor of Washington, and we meet his brother Mike, a.k.a. Chris Farley, who means well, but is a complete screw-up and is going to end up ruining this campaign. That's obvious, like, right off the bat.
Yep.
So Al, the brother running for governor, basically needs an assistant to keep an eye on Mike and make sure that he doesn't derail the entire campaign. That's when Steve, a.k.a. David Spade, steps in and volunteers to keep Mike in check if that means he'll get a staff job once Donnelly wins.
Al.
Yes, Al Donnelly. All right, so Steve makes his way to whatever town the brother Mike is in. I forget. They mention it multiple times. Doesn't matter.
The town.
So he almost runs over this guy, Gary Busey, and they get into like a little verbal altercation. Steve flips him off, drives around the corner, but there's a traffic jam. So he gets out of the car and just leaves his car there.
Leaves the car.
With the door open and everything.
With the door open.
Grabs his stuff.
It's just so stupid.
And just runs off. Anyways, so he ends up meeting up with Mike. Like at this point, we don't even care. Like at one point in the movie, he like goes back outside and is like, "Oh, my car's gone." What you think was gonna happen?
Yeah, I know.
You just left it in the middle of
middle of the road.
traffic, you know, with the door open, still running, everything. Like, just absolutely ridiculous.
Yep.
Later, it's found out that it's stolen, but it's like, can you really be mad? Like, you kind of abandoned it. Like,
He did say it was a rental car, but still, like, well, how do you just leave your car? Like,
you don't.
Even if you're going to run away, lock the thing, take the keys with you.
Yeah, but it was in the middle of the road. Like, there are cars behind him. They're going to need to go somewhere. Anyways, so he leaves his car there. Door open and everything. Grabs his stuff and goes. So he meets up with Mike, and they're going to do some canvassing at the supermarket and some low-level stuff that basically keeps him busy, except, Mike is a train wreck, so it doesn't go smoothly. So
nice
he ends
choice
up...
of words.
Well, he is. He scares a whole bunch of customers. He gets his tie stuck in the trunk of a vehicle and is dragged around the parking lot. And Steve is basically realizing this is going to be pretty difficult, but probably doesn't realize how bad it's actually going to be. So they go to a convenience store, and he tells Mike to wait in the car. And, he says, yeah, sure. I promise I'll stay here. And we know that he's not going to. That's coming. So anyways, guy walks out of the convenience store. Mike's kind of watching what's going on. Something looks suspicious, so he follows this guy, and he catches some kids drinking and smoking pot. So he goes over there, and he's laughing and joking with them. Honestly, it looks like he's trying to take the beer from them and the joint from them. Maybe not, but it looked like he was trying to do the right thing. Anyways, it gets photographed that he's drinking and partying with the kids.
Right.
So it looks like the other person running in the campaign, the current governor running for re-election, who we find out her name is Tracy, that she has like people watching Mike and waiting for him to screw up. I realized later that the person who is taking the photos is just basically a sketchy person no matter what.
Yep.
He ends up getting pictures that work for either side, just who wants to pay the money and need the help, But at that point it looked like she had, goons out there watching,
Yeah.
Yeah,
You thought that they were hers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty much right off the bat.
All right, so now he's being set up. Mike's being let go from his rec center job. So you can tell in the movie too. It's kind of cute. It's like he really cares about this job. He cares about the kids that he works with, plays football with them. He's got all these trophies and pictures and all that stuff on the wall, and that's his passion. But he is set up and he's let go from his rec center job. So he was there a little bit later packing up his stuff, and someone set fire to the building and then made it look like he did it out of anger. Of course, the press was there, took pictures to make it look like, he's the bad guy. So they decide it's best to lay low outside of town in a little cabin. They, as in Mike and Steve. They get there, and there's a bat on a picture frame, and Steve dares Mike to touch it, and they act like 10-year-olds for like 5 minutes. You touch it. No, you touch it. I'll do it if you do it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, every time. All right, we'll both touch it. Okay.
Yeah, it's just...
It's great.
What are you, 12? Oh, I'm sorry, 10. My bad. Of course, the bat takes off, and Mike crawls under the bed.
That was...
Gets stuck a little. Wait, hang on.
Farley diving under the bed and trying to, oh my God.
Not only that, but he's trying to scoot under the bed, but he's too big to fit. Oh, by the way, they're bunk beds, so the ladder's sticking out of the other side. So when he finally makes it all the way through, his head hits the ladder's falling down. It's so chaotic in a matter of 5 seconds. They're both screaming. They're both acting ridiculous. They're running away from the bat while trying to catch it at the same time. Steve's trying to catch it between two pots.
I thought that was a good idea. You could do that.
That's so stupid.
I mean,
Absolutely
keep
stupid.
your eye on the ball. You can probably get it done.
Yeah, well, he didn't. Let's just say that. Anyways, he's trying to catch it between two pots. Mike thinks that he can catch it by getting it to go into the refrigerator. Again, just absolutely ridiculous. Very chaotic.
That's a moth, you idiot.
They finally catch the bat, so they're able to go to sleep. They catch it by having a sheet up and getting it to go towards the middle part of the sheet and flinging it outside, basically.
You forgot the whole part where they throw it over his head, or is that later?
No, when it ends up in his hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I skipped that part.
And
it was a very chaotic scene.
Spade gets the sheet over his head and he just keeps beating him.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I did leave out that
beating
part.
him over the head, and then he's at one point, he just throws a kick in the ribs in.
Yeah, he was just getting out some frustration for sure there. Because,
it's so stupid.
Mike's yelling the whole time, just screaming, and then gets kicked.
They had such good chemistry, so it was just fantastic.
It was just, again, so chaotic. And I have a great way of explaining this later, and that's coming down in just a second here. So the next day, Mike puts up some signs for his brother, and Steve tries to make a call on the oldest cell phone ever, because it was the 90s.
1996.
Absolutely insane to see old technology.
Right.
Watching that while typing these notes in my phone, I'm just
how about that?
Just insane.
Yeah.
The little bottom part that flips open so you can speak, and the long antenna, and you have to be in just the right spot to even make a phone call. Absolutely insane. Anyways, I realize this movie is just a real life cartoon. That's all it is.
There you go.
Yeah. Instead of drawn characters, you have Chris Farley and David Spade getting into the most ridiculous situations with a lot of yelling.
Perfect.
Steve gets sprayed down with a fire extinguisher by some kids. Him and Mike lift up a bucket from a well, and it's filled with snakes, so there's a lot of screaming there. A boulder crashes into the side of the cabin, basically destroys everything, and the cabin has been halfway knocked off its foundation, so everything is on a slant. But they still decide to, stay in the cabin. The wind blows the roof off the cabin. Then there's a hailstorm, so they're getting pelted with ice. This is definitely, it is just a cartoon with real life actors.
It is. And they're great at it too.
They are. I wouldn't want anybody else doing this. All right. So Mike comes up with this idea to go to Rock the Vote, the rock show in Seattle. See his brother, maybe talk to the people, and do something good for this campaign. He decides to run it by Steve, but Steve's already asleep, so he decides to drive out there anyway.
Is
why
this
not?
after the assistant campaign director, or the actual campaign manager, told Mike that, if I had my way, you wouldn't be around your brother for the rest of the time he's governor and all that
I
stuff.
think so. I think so.
So that's another part where you mentioned the phones and the stuff like that, where it's like, hell, now we just text his brother and be like, "Hey, man, did you really say this?" And brother be like,
what
"No,"
the hell,
and
man?
then movie over.
Well, yeah.
So I'm
And
glad
then-
we have the movie.
Again, you wouldn't have a movie in that case.
Yeah. Shout out to old technology.
All right. So, like I said, Steve's asleep. So, Mike's going to drive out there anyway. So he gets into Rock the Vote by dressing like security, flipping out on this guy. And they're like, oh, man, this guy's tough.
Where'd you learn that move?
Yeah.
Laguna Beach, bounce off.
After one of the performers are done, he's screaming his head off, saying how amazing they were. And they're like, well, okay. So let me back up a little bit.
Okay.
So before he gets that far and gets very excited for the performers, he's like going in through the different like rooms where, people are getting ready to perform and all of that. And he ends up in one room with a group of people smoking pot and everything. And he's like, nah, man, that's not for me. That's
I don't want to be
cool, though."
stereotypical or anything, but I think it was a reggae band.
That is quite possibly what it was. Anyway, so he's like, nah, whatever, and isn't smoking. And I guess the punchline of all of that is just the contact buzz that he got sitting next to them while they're all passing around a whole bunch of joints. Then he starts eating a whole bunch of food. He's got like a plate, and I think they're chicken wings.
Yeah, it was
and
chicken
they're
wing
all
bones,
demolished
yeah.
in front of him, and he's laughing and joking with these guys and all of that stuff. So when he comes out afterwards and a band has finished performing and all that, he's all stoned, so he's acting all crazy and everything. And he's like, oh my gosh, you guys were so awesome and all of that. And they're like, who are you? And he's like, Mike Donnelly. And so they're all confused because they think, oh, Donnelly, this is the guy running for governor. So they bring him up on stage where, I'm sure he's going to make a fool out of himself or, cause more damage to his brother's campaign. And that is exactly what he does.
He does both.
Well, I mean, he started off so strong with, like, you got to vote and it's badass and all of that.
Power to the people and all that stuff.
He ends with kill Whitey. So, not so good.
So stupid. Oh, it's such a great part of that movie, man.
It was
It is so dumb.
Ridiculous, beyond belief. His brother meets with him after that debacle and is basically like, are you trying to ruin this for
Kill
me?
Whitey?
So then it's actually a really sad moment, which you always have in these movies. And Mike goes back to the cabin in the middle of nowhere with Steve, and he's all depressed. And Steve's like, well, what do you want to do? And he's like, I don't know, whatever. They're all moping around and all of that. And Steve's like, oh, well, we got to, at least watch the debate on TV. Except for their cabin, they don't have a TV. The only TV around is one in a bus that's been turned into a home that happens to be owned by the guy in the beginning of the movie that Steve almost ran over. And they got into that argument and all of that. Well, it turns out that the guy that lives in the bus, Gary Busey, also stole the car.
Has to be the best thing Gary Busey's ever done. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone.
I don't think anyone's going to correct you on that one. All right. So crazy guy comes home. That's Gary Busey. I do not know what his character name is this entire time.
Sergeant Drake Savage.
Let's go with Drake.
Yeah.
So Drake comes home while they're watching the debate in his school bus home, scares Steve while he's outside and makes him pee himself. So they're watching the debate. Drake comes home. Drake is like arriving home, and Steve goes outside to pee really quick, but whatever. Doesn't matter. He's there, scares him. He pees himself. Real embarrassing moment for him there. Drake and Mike get into a fight, and Drake is like, hey, I like your moves. No, really? Like, where did you learn that and all of that? And they actually become friends. Aw, how sweet.
Yeah, right.
you got to have the crazy guy on your side.
Of course.
The debate actually goes pretty good, and it seems like Al is actually going to win. The current governor, Tracy, even tries to bring up Al's brother and draw attention to those issues and how he's, kind of a loose cannon and all that. But it ends up backfiring on her. Al ends up sticking up for his brother, which is really cool, heartfelt moment and all of that. Real politician there, spun it around.
Nailed it.
Made it a happy ending and all of that.
Spin master.
Yeah. So the day of the election, pictures surfaced that looked like Mike started that fire at his former job where he is let go at that rec center. Not only that, but it looks like Tracy was leading the vote count. But something didn't add up. It said she had won, 1,000 some odd votes, and Al had received 800 for the same county, but Mike actually knew that specific county, that there wasn't 1,800 voters in that county.
Because that's the county that they had been secluded in that cabin in the woods they were canvassing. So they knew the numbers for that, and specifically somehow those were broadcast or they were looking at it or whatever. And that's...
Yeah, it was broadcasted out that she had this many votes, the brother had this many votes, and he's like, yeah, those numbers don't add up.
Yeah.
So they go to some official office, get the record of voters, and sure enough, it's voter fraud. So Mike and Steve borrow Mike's friend's car, who happens to be a cop. They borrow the cop car. I don't know his name either. He only shows up like 3 times
Robbie,
in this movie.
But it's one of the most souped up, coolest cop cars in any movie ever.
Yeah, he's got nitrous in the back and all
big
of
old
that.
mag wheels and stuff like that. It's fantastic.
But they're going to borrow his car and drive it up to the governor's house to basically blast the news in front of Tracy, embarrass her, and, get Al the credit that he deserves. And his friend, you said Robbie, was basically like, if you get caught with this, I'm just going to say you stole my car. Which makes sense because...
Well, that's what you do.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, it couldn't be an easy ride because that would be, too easy.
Right.
At one point, nitrous...
you got the car, you got to play around.
Yeah. Well, it's got the nitrous in the back. I don't know how it happens, but it starts leaking.
It's when they got stopped by construction, and so they skirted around on the shoulder, then ran over a pile of debris or what have you, and when they bounced off of that or something, it jostled the nozzle's loose.
Okay.
I guess.
I don't know.
They show it a little
bit,
but it's really quick.
Well, it was leaking in the back seat, so they're getting all stoned again. I mean, Mike got stoned a lot in this movie.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Unintentionally, but it happened a lot. So the nitrous is leaking in the back seat, so they're all stoned. They end up getting pulled over, and it's basically like, oh gosh, act cool. Hey, you get in the back seat so it looks like I'm taking you somewhere and all of this stuff. Well, they got pulled over because they were going 7 miles an hour. No, legit, 7 miles an hour.
7 miles an hour.
Do you know how fast you were going? It couldn't have been more than 65. 7. You were going 7 miles an hour.
And normally when I pull people over, they pull over to the shoulder.
Yeah, and he's right in the middle of the road. Yeah. But Mike talks his way out of it like Chris Farley does in every single movie.
Yeah,
he always talks his way out of everything. Anyway, they finally get to the governor's house, and it gets even crazier. Like I said, real-life cartoon. Mike has snipers pointed at him at one point. He grabs a gun and acts like he's going to shoot Steve. It's just really crazy because he's trying to get his opportunity to get to the podium and say what he needs to say. Al at one point is like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah,
no, I
up,
do believe you, all of that kind of stuff. But anyway, so he gets his opportunity to speak and prove that Tracy committed voter fraud, which he does prove because she had a bunch of dead people vote for her, and Gary Busey, Drake, his dad and grandfather, both passed away, but apparently had voted for her.
Gary Busey shows up with the grenade launcher, the rocket launcher.
Well, he was there to kick some butt.
Mr. Thundermaker's going to start barking fire.
That's right. So anyways, it's proved that she committed voter fraud, and then one of her aides even admits it, and they're like, yeah, she told us to do this. So everything wraps up happily. Steve becomes Al's assistant. Of course, Al is now going to be governor. And everything wraps up with Mike getting his coat caught in the private jet door, which I wouldn't expect any other ending from a movie like this.
And scene.
Yes.
Another quick one.
What a chaotic ride that movie was.
Absolutely chaotic, right?
Yeah.
Is it not a Farley Spade movie? You know what I mean?
No, it definitely is.
I remember on Saturday Night Live, I believe they were both still on at the time, or at least Spade was, because he was doing his Spade in America thing, and it was just like a segment he did. And he absolutely made fun of how it was like Tommy Boy 2 and stuff like that.
It
was
definitely
really funny.
was like Tommy Boy 2.
They're very similar. I mean, this one, he's not as much of an idiot. He's just bumbling. Like, he's a smart guy. He's just bumbling, basically. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. But, I mean, Spade's character, pretty much the same thing.
It was definitely the same person.
Yeah.
Like,
they should have just kept the car. They should have kept the same
name
same
and everything. Yes, absolutely.
Yes, I do believe that is the same car from Tommy Boy. I'm not positive, but I think that is the same car. All beat up and whatnot, and where he's actually working on it in Black Sheep, where they destroyed it in Tommy Boy. So, okay. Number one question right off the bat: did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it. It was pretty good.
Okay. What did you know about it going in? I know we already answered that, but...
I knew the short description that I got from you and Ashley Rogers over at Fermental, telling me that it is... And I think Lisa was a part of that discussion as well. Lisa is another worker at Fermental. Just telling me that it's, Chris Farley, David Spade, and Chris Farley's brother is, running for governor, and... he's going to F it all up, basically.
So you just got like the quick, stupid outline.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Your thoughts then going into this, because it was like, okay, we're watching that tonight. So you had a couple hours to think about it going, that's what I'm in for.
So my first thought was, oh my gosh, we're doing 2 comedies back to back because we did Major Pain last week.
Which was
and I
so
was
much
like,
fun.
I don't want to do 2 comedies back to back. But considering how all this played out, it was like, meh, it'll be fine. So that was my first thought. But going into it, I just basically assumed, like, okay, this is going to be, again, like Tommy Boy. It's going to be a very stupid movie where I'm going to be more of the groaning than laughing at it, which I would say was kind of half and half. There were a few scenes where I was like, this is actually really funny. And there was a few that I'm like, are you serious? Like, come on.
Did it help when you were like, okay, this is just a cartoon?
Yeah, it did. Because
does,
that's
right?
basically what it is.
It does, right?
Getting your tie caught in a trunk of someone's car.
And he's got all the buttons on his shirt. So when they
he's
start
just
pulling...
sparking everywhere.
There's some pretty cool stunts in it,
And
honestly.
screaming. Oh, my gosh. Could Chris Farley just scream
Oh, yeah,
away?
he could.
Rah!
So
Can't even do anything close to the noises that just no.
Nice
no.
try, though. I like it. What surprised you about it?
I don't know. I wouldn't say nothing really surprised me
Nothing
about it.
surprised you?
Yeah, no.
No? Just no.
There's
What
nothing
surprised
surprising.
you about it? No.
Yeah, I like that answer. Let's go with no.
It sounds good. Would you have liked this more or less if you saw it when you were younger? And how about you pick the age this time?
I would probably have liked it young if I was like anywhere between like 13 and 17.
Okay.
I think I'd really, really enjoy this. Because again, cartoon with adults.
Yeah.
Like, definitely would have enjoyed it more like that.
And those are good years for movies like this, too.
Yeah.
So fantastic. What was your favorite part?
I think a lot of the cabin scenes. Definitely the bat flying around and him trying to like crawl under the bed, because that was just absolutely stupid. And you could like he was really struggling.
Oh my god!
I don't think they
it's like
meant
when
to
your
do
dog
that.
gets under the bed and then doesn't mean to do it. Now it's stuck under there. And
Yeah, that's exactly what it was like. And I'm like, I wonder if he did get stuck under there at one point and they needed to help him, because it's absolutely ridiculous. Between that and then the cabin falling off of its foundation, but then they're still staying there and everything's slanted.
Oh, I know
like,
it.
just why? And then the getting pelted with hail, and anytime they're in the cabin
cabin
ended
scenes
up
were great.
being pretty funny.
Yeah. Good call. I like that. So what was your least favorite part?
Oh man, least favorite part. I don't know if I had really a least favorite part in this movie.
That's good.
It's just a goofy movie overall.
It is. It is such a goofy movie.
Yeah,
But it's
I
just
don't
it's just
know.
a cute movie, right? I
Yeah.
believe that's something. I said something along those lines to you too. I'm like, it's cute. It's not. There's nothing really bad about it. So, okay, good. Would you recommend it to someone else who hasn't seen it?
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Would you watch it again?
Probably, yeah.
Is it one that you would stop and watch on TV?
Depends on where it's at and what scene I'm about to see.
If you're about to see some cabin scenes or
Then yes, absolutely.
maybe even the Rock the Vote stage scene. That's
sure.
that's up there for me.
I'm not gonna stop it if it's at the end because I don't care how they wrapped it up. I really don't. Like, okay, like she created, like you have to wrap up the story, and I get that. And it was voter fraud, and she's a terrible person, and all of that kind of stuff. And Al wins, and it's happily ever after. But I don't know. It's a cartoon. Like I don't know.
I love
just
when
don't care.
she's up there. She's like, "There's a perfectly good explanation for this," and she calls to her campaign manager, and he's like, "Yeah, there is. She put me up to it."
Yeah, she told us to.
That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
I think that's a good part. Yeah,
Finally, last question on our review questions: are you happy you watched it?
of course.
Are you?
Always. Yeah.
Good. So Black Sheep was a good call then. Thanks to the crew down at Fermental for a pairing and a movie this week. How about
That's
that? Look at that. They're
right.
just doing everything for us.
Yeah. Well, maybe they'll have to pick out the next movie too. Now
There
the
you go.
pressure's on them.
That's right. And as always, who the hell knows what movie we're doing next week?
Yeah, we'll see.
So that takes care of Naomi's Under a Rock review of Black Sheep, and I almost, not even kidding you, said Tommy Boy.
There were many times where I thought I was going to accidentally say that. Honestly, between the two, I do definitely like Tommy Boy better.
Well, that's the first. I believe that is the first. I'd feel really embarrassed if this one came first, but I'm pretty sure Tommy Boy came first. They did this on the strength of that, and never really did another Spade Farley outing. I don't believe.
I don't think you need to.
You don't really need to.
All right, it's time for your thought of the day.
Thought of the day, thought of the day. It's your thought of the day, thought of the day.
I'm so sorry for this one.
Oh no! What, for the singing?
Restaurant forks have been in more people's mouths than you can imagine. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
I'm so grossed out reading that too.
that's dirty.
I told you I'm sorry. Luke, you gotta leave us with a laugh.
All right, I'll do my best.
Oh,
Oh my God.
there's no coming back from that.
Today I made my first money as a programmer. I sold my laptop.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I applied for a job to be a spy. They wanted my resume and undercover letter. That is very dad joke. That's.
I thought it was kind of
that's,
cute.
I'm thirsty. I'm Dad. Nice to meet you. What's the worst thing to say before a driving exam?
I don't know.
This thing does have airbags, right?
Yeah, that would be terrible to hear.
And let's see here. Why do cows wear bells?
I don't know.
Because their horns don't work.
That's stupid.
And then I
Should've
have
left
done
off
my
on the-
job successfully.
the driving one.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, that's episode 61.
We're getting old.
We are getting old as a show.
Yep.
As a show. Never getting old mentally or anything else.
Oh God, no.
Do we got to go back to Interview with a Vampire?
No.
Please no.
Oh God.
Check
no.
out that review for Naomi probably at her most confused.
That was
Well, I
probably
mean,
the
I'm
worst
not even
interview.
kidding, like, it's-
or the
it's-
worst review ever.
It is a good review. It's just the fact that you were so confused by the vampires because you didn't know anything about vampires. So if you like Interview with a Vampire, check out that one because
I'll ruin it for you.
baffled, absolutely baffled. It was fantastic. It's definitely worth a listen. All right, Luke and Naomi on air everywhere, wherever you get your podcasts. Please check us out on YouTube and click that subscribe button. Yeah, no matter what happens on, if you just Google us, Luke and Naomi on air, as my lovely wife so eloquently put it last week, we come up.
That's right.
Okay, so episode 62 next week. We'll find out what movie we're doing when you do.
That's right.
Until then, have some fun this week and be excellent to each other.
Love you, bye.